Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm known as Flying Lotus, aka Deadeye Lotus, and I appreciate y'all for stopping by, for real. Today I got a hot new build for you guys that I think you guys are really gonna love, because it's gonna help support with the super fast time to kill patch update into 11.1, and I got an extra bonus that's gonna help you out. It's kind of coming off a left field that not a lot of players in the PvP community utilize for their team and for themselves, and I'm about to break it down right now. So as you can see by the title of the video, the build revolves around the Ridgeway's Pride exotic chestplate. If you guys don't have it, I'll quickly read it off to you guys. It's titled Bleeding Edge. Shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. Repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within those 15 meters. Repair strength per number of bleeding enemies increases the more of opponents you have on bleed. So one enemy will be 3%, 2 6%, and so on, right? Now the reason why this build is so strong is because it's being paired with this Eclipse Protocol backpack. And this one piece alone gives you this special unique talent called the Symptom Aggravator. Amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. Now, keep in mind the key word here is amplified, which in this game means multiplicative, and it's the same thing as intimidate on the chest piece. You know, if you think about it, the only difference is it's 5% less, but you don't need to obtain or bonus armor to have this talent proc. All you need to do is put your enemies on bleed, and that's it. And I personally like to run it with a certain skill, and before I show you that skill, I just want to also showcase the 4 pieces that I like to run it. So the first one is the Grupo Sombro, fully god rolled, crit damage, crit chance, and 11.9 critical hit damage mod. Man, I wish I had another 12% critical hit damage mod, which I only got one that I use for a different build, but I wish I had one more so I can kind of highlight and put the cherry on top for this piece, man. You know, just seeing all 4 attributes fully lighting up the sky, but you know, it is what it is. The second piece is going to be the Sokolov Concern brand set, fully god rolled, armor on top, weapon handling, and 11.2 critical hit damage. Pretty straightforward. The second piece is also the Sokolov, fully god roll, weapon damage, crit damage, and critical hit chance, utilizing the second piece crit damage bonus. And the last but not least is the Contractor's Gloves for the multiplicative damage to armor. Mine has a blue core attribute on top and 11.1 critical hit damage. Now if you notice, my survivability is coming from the 4 blues. Guys, I really recommend with this TU11.1, the algorithm now has kind of changed from TU11, where you just kind of get shredded a lot faster in close range fights. So because of this, I really believe the counter to staying alive longer is having 1 additional blue. You just need 3 blues and under is just too fast, like, you know, for you to just kind of face tank and trade off damage with your opponents, because you just get melted way too quick. So this is the one alternative you can run it. And I also like utilizing the Stinger Hive, which is the point to the next topic right now, of how it complements Ridgeway, because as I'm engaging really close, my primary is the Lady Death, I'm putting them on bleed right just by shooting them, and thus I gain the backpack talent of Symptom Aggravator. But what I'm also doing with the Stinger Hive is I'm also supplying armor regeneration for myself while fighting 2 enemies or more in the battlefield. And I'm staying within 15 meters, so that's check, you know, I'm good. Putting them on bleed, and the Stinger Hive is going to reinforce that bleed to make sure they stay on longer, to continue proccing the Eclipse Protocol talent for me and regenerating my armor piece. Now I've also tested this as well, which is really cool, is that if your ally is running a Ridgeway's Pride build as well, he will be benefiting their regeneration based on the number of enemies that you have on bleed as well. So that means if I put 2 enemies on bleed with my Lady Death, then he'll be gaining 6% armor regen. As simple as that. Which is also, I recommend to keep the Stinger Hive, because the Hive charges are going to deploy to as many enemies that are within the radius, right? It spreads to everybody. It does not just solely focus on one person. So that way, you know, because of that reason, it's really recommended to use Ridgeway, oh sorry, the Stinger Hive to complement the bleeding that you can spread onto your opponents. Now let's talk about the alternative to this build, and that really is just mixing two pieces. The first one is a must for the gloves, and that is the firm handshakes name piece. It's really cool that this piece comes through Sokolov brand set, because it would help you out with the time of um, saving an additional damage you can, you know, by putting a different mod. But this one comes with fully status effects of 15%, really unique, and this is going to help you out. Before I showcase this build, let me show you the statistics of the first build, right? As you can see, I'm at 57% critical hit chance and 183 critical hit damage with 74 weapon damage and 24,000 PvP weapon damage. So this build shreds, guys. 4 blues, crit chance, crit damage is up there, damage to armor, Stinger Hive, it's all good. Now the other alternative, like I said, was the firm handshakes. Now if you run it this way, you will be also now rocking 3 Sokolovs. So you know, I like to take down the third piece by putting the Fox's Prayer to gain that target out of cover, multiplicative damage. And I have a blue core attribute in mind and the red weapon damage on top. Yours can be different, it can be vice versa, it does not matter. As long as you retain 4 blues, that's all that matters. The statistics to this build is 57 crit chance, still the same, and 172 critical hit damage, which really still hits hard. I personally like to run it the other way because I like seeing more damage to armor hitting my opponent up close than the target out of cover. That's, yeah, it's up to me, guys, but you guys can rock it this way too. It does not hurt at all because the more time that you're putting your opponents on spread, on bleed, the more regeneration you'll be gaining for yourself and retaining the duration of the backpack talent of System Aggravator. So it's not a bad alternative at all. And also with the Stinger Hive. So this in conjunction with the name Stinger Hive is going to help retain the duration of the bleed onto your enemies, which is going to benefit for both of those reasons like I mentioned. So that's a really good setup you can also go with as well. Weapons, I'm rocking the Lady Death. It really doesn't matter. Up close, 15 meters. I like running a foul for my secondary just in case I decide to pull back and I need to play a little bit of the range game. But your secondary can be whatever, up to you. Pestilence even, or not Pestilence if you're running Lady Death. Carbine 7, whatever the case may be. Pistol, TDI card custom. Obviously for the Stinger Hive benefiting more Stinger charges. Now, the last bonus information that I was talking about out of left field is actually this baby right here. Not the crossbow, and not the fire grenade, but the class, the Survivalist. Guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but Survivalist, it gives you 2 super good benefiting attributes from this tree. First one being, the main solely being, the armor kit spread, distributed repair. Armor kits now repair over 5 seconds instead of instantly, but also apply to group members within 20 meters. I've tested this out. If you and your allies are low on armor, whatever the case may be, and they are within 20 meters of you and you proc this, they'll gain that armor regeneration too. It's simply put as that. So that will help you to have them save on medkits in the future, especially when you are in the dark zone or even in conflict when you have only 2 medkits to begin with. You can just help supply this to them and have them save those for themselves when they need it and they're not close to you. Especially in dark zone, it's super beneficial because if you're a manhunt, you know, you can save on less time with add runs to do armor kits for your teammates, you know, and then thus risking the risk of having enemies coming back to you, and then, you know, it's another engagement within the landmark. You can kind of save that as well. So I cannot stress this enough that this perk right here of the talent is so good for the spread, guys. I like to run it with an additional ally who runs Survivalist. That way we kind of trade off between armor kits, which is a total of 8 mech kits if you think about it. You know, I'll supply the first one, then my teammate will do, and now we're just like trading off, and the other 2 teammates can kind of save theirs when they're in a pickle. And you know, or whatever the case may be that they need to use it. But 8 armor kits being supplied, dished out to the teammates on spread with 1 kit, you cannot beat that. Super, super good. Um, Last but not least, the bonus of Survivalist Tactical Link. Group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effects. Now, like I said, with the Ridgeway's Pride, that's a status effect, right? You're putting them on bleed, and you're proccing your Clip's talent on you, gaining the DPS and armor regeneration. Just by utilizing these 3 alone, you're helping yourself out and your team, who's also, or your teammate rocking the Ridgeway's Pride. But with the class, you just put the cherry on top by giving them 10% status bonus damage and the medkit spread. This just finalizes this build, which I believe is a lot better than rocking with the firewall, because number one, yeah, the medkit is still good, but it's only for one person, right? It's only for one person. The 200% armor, you pop it good, you kind of, you know, retain the gut high armor for a little bit and it goes away. This in the long term of spreading your kits and having your teammates save theirs is a lot better. Trust me. And the striker shield with the super fast time to kill, 11.1, unless you're rocking like 5 blues or up, is really no benefiting because the shields got nerfed by 25%. So they drop super, super quick. So you're not even going to be able to benefit from the 12% striker shield bonus damage. And last but not least, the fiery response of armor break on fire. It's been disabled and the release of 11. So, you know, there's nothing really to it to this class that you are going to be benefiting from. So that's why I highly recommend using the Survivalist, guys. Try this out. Let me know what you think. You guys are absolutely going to love it. It's going to help you guys out in PvP tight spots. Trust me, and also help out with maintaining healers too, because you have 1 or 2 Survivalist guys on your team just spreading those kits. It's going to be so, so beneficial, guys. So, yeah, that is the build. If you guys liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. And leave a comment to the video. If you have any other questions, let me know. Feel free to chat, type it in the comment box, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. And yeah, more Division 2 build videos and gameplay coming soon, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Bye.